Mr. Gilmore, this aortic arch comes down. When he comes down, what do you call him? Descending thoracic aorta, because we're inside of the thoracic cavity. But Mr. Gilmore, I noticed there's a lot of little vessels that's coming off of it and going in between the ribs. Even if you tag them out here, they're the same vessel. This is called intercostal. But Mr. Gilmore, there's this little structure up here. I want you to show me something. There was this cartilaginous 20-ring deal that's like a slinky. What's it called?
Trachea.
Trachea. But behind the trachea, Mr. Gilmore, is this little flat tube. Esophagus. And the esophagus kept coming down, Mr. Gilmore. It kept coming down all the way down through here. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now the esophagus, Mr. Gilmore, goes through this little hole right here in the diaphragm. What's that called?
Esophageal hiatus.
Esophageal hiatus, aka diaphragmatic hiatus. Diaphragmatic hiatus. Okay, Mr. Gilmore. So you're telling me these red vessels that's going over here were intercostals. What's these red vessels that's coming over here?
Esophageals.
Esophageals. Well, looks like to me, Mr. Gilmore, we made it home free, because now we got to get past the diaphragm and get to this area. So I need you to take this area, Mr. Gilmore, zoom in on it, and give me all of these vessels. Now I need a light. I need you to zoom in and explain this now. First thing I need to do, Mr. Gilmore, I need to talk about the fact that I need to identify three main structures. And they are here, the celiac. And this is superior mesenteric. That makes this inferior mesenteric. If I learn those three, Mr. Gilmore, I got this stuff down packed. You can't trick me. So here's what we're going to do. We find out this fellow named celiac gives rise to three main vessels. One comes here. The first one is going toward the liver, Mr. Gilmore.
Hepatic. Hepatic.
Yeah, I got a better picture than that. I'm trying to get y'all the best picture possible. Move the diaphragms here. Yeah. So the first one comes off here, and he's going toward the liver. His name is hepatic. The second one, Mr. Gilmore, wants to give rise to this thing called the spleen, so we call it splenic. And then the third one, Mr. Gilmore, runs along because he wants to run toward the stomach. We're going to call him gastric. So if I remember the three in order, it would be hepatic, splenic, and gastric. And they come off of who? Celiac. If that much is true, Mr. Gilmore, I notice I need to go to this next vessel. His name is superior mesenteric. Well, superior mesenteric, Mr. Gilmore, he's going to give rise to a lot of these little vessels.
Intestinal.
That's the small intestine, so we're going to call those intestinals. Well, Mr. Gilmore, also, the superior mesenteric want to meet up with the inferior mesenteric along this large colon, so we're going to call that colon. Well, Mr. Gilmore, also, there's a vessel going down. Well, Mr. Gilmore, if it's going down from the inferior mesenteric along the colon, Mr. Gilmore, that's where the hemorrhoid is going down that way, so we're going to call it superior hemorrhoidal. Superior hemorrhoidal. If that much is true, Mr. Gilmore, I need you to focus in on this bottom part real quick, because I need you to do that for me. Explain that. You'll notice I got this fellow that comes over and want to throw the peace sign. Here and here. We're going to call him iliolumbar. If that's iliolumbar, then we're going to call this fellow external iliac, internal iliac, and then there's one in the middle. We got to make sure we get good light down in here. He goes straight down in the middle. You see that?
Yeah.
His name is caudal. Now, the rest of this becomes easy if I know what organ I'm going to. That's all I got to do. Watch this.